So the 49ers lose to P.J. Walker. The Eagles lose to Zach Wilson and the Jets without Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. Don't remind me. Thank you, Devontae Smith, for dropping that 50-yard touchdown. Is what it is. The Bills don't score until the fourth quarter against the Giants. Call it a London hangover, whatever you want. And I have no idea what the hell each week to think of this damn Dallas Cowboys team. So here's what I say. What's the line for them to tie? That makes them. What's the line? Hey, plus 6,000. There you have it. Bet this game to end in a tie. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll be back for the next one. All right, we can't actually bet this game to tie. How wild is it going to be if this game ends up in a draw and plus 6,000 hits? I'm going to clip the part where I tell you not to bet it as a tie, and just the only part we're going to clip is where I'm like, hey, bet this game as a tie. But it's not going to happen, besides the fact. I got some props for him. Dave Loughy from Odd Chopper. I got a side. This is a tough game for sure. We've seen it move a little bit. Chargers at plus 2.5 down to plus 1.5. Matter of fact, they were -2 in the look-ahead line before the season started. But, teams get devalued as it goes on. I got an anytime touchdown prop that I really want to talk about. And it's crazy across all the different books. And a receiving yards prop that we'll get into. So, hey, hit that thumbs up if you like this content, or even if you don't. Just do it anyway. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below. Let me know. I love reading these. Your guys' favorite picks for this game. What are your thoughts on how it plays out? Let's make it happen. We'll dive into it first with looking at this Chargers team plus 1.5 at home against the Cowboys. It's funny when you look at the Cowboys. There's really like a one-game sample with this team this season when you're looking at snap counts and trying to figure out who's going to be on the field. Week 1, blowout win in East Rutherford against the Giants. Week 2, blowout win against the Jets. Week 3, they had it, in striking distance kind of against the Arizona as 12-point favorites. End up losing by 12, though, in Arizona. Then week 4, they go on to smoke the Patriots like 38-3 or whatever that was. And then week 5, they get dismembered on the main stage Sunday Night Football against the Niners, who just lost to the Browns. You want to complain about anything in the NFL, fine, but you can't say there isn't parity in this league. So what do we know about this team? Not much. They lost Diggs for the year. Van Der Esch is out as well, but to a lesser extent, it's really the Diggs thing that is big. And they've won games on the back of their defense. I think when you look at the Cowboys, the one argument you can make is that this offense is still very much not clicked yet. And the defense has really held them up against bad offenses, right? Like week 2, they faced Zach Wilson in his first game as a starter this year, thrust into action after Aaron Rodgers goes down in week 1 against the Bills. Week 1, we learned this offensive line for the Giants is catastrophically bad, right? Now week 4, how bad are the Patriots? This team is just utter garbage on all fronts. On the Chargers side, you get Austin Eckler back. He said he would have been fine if they had a game in week 5. He would have played. It makes sense. But they were off in week 5, coming off of a bye. We're seeing the line move a little bit towards them. They're dealing with a couple injuries. The notable one is Joey Bosa, whether or not he plays. And Mike Williams on the IR. But you still have Keenan Allen. You have Justin Herbert, who's got the finger injury, but on his non-throwing hand. So I wouldn't be particularly concerned about that. He said he doesn't think it's going to affect him. But Austin Eckler returning is huge. We saw how bad Joshua Kelly was in that backfield, man. Just running into a brick wall every time he got the rock. This is one of the toughest games we'll talk about from what side we're taking. I think for me, what makes the most sense would just be go Chargers money line, right? Like plus 1.5. I think you just go Chargers to win. Here's the problem, though. Again, when I say it's hard to figure these teams out, because you know me, I hate betting the Chargers if they're big favorites. I hate it. They always find ways to mess that up. And then Brandon Staley's always looking for ways to rip defeat from the jaws of victory. I think that's the saying. Like they should have lost against Minnesota because of the play that he decided to run on 4th and 1. They got lucky. Minnesota Vikings just aren't that good. But I don't trust Mike McCarthy the slightest bit either. So if you just zoom out, take a 30,000-foot view of this game, it's really a mess. So at this stage of the game, give me the Chargers money line. Bet 365. If you have it in your state, it's plus 110. Next best line that I could find on the money line is plus 106. Let's talk about some props. All right, so before we do, One thing I'll stress to you guys all the time, be on as many sports books as possible. Please, if there's nothing else you listen to, you want to fade all of these picks, listen to this. And if you're not in one of these 6 states, go ahead and just skip forward the next 30 seconds or whatever and get to the props. I wouldn't blame you. But you'll want to hear it if you're in Colorado, Virginia, Ohio, New Jersey, Iowa, and more specifically, Kentucky. Because if you click the link in the description, we put it in the description. I threw it in the pinned comment. That might be easier for you guys who are on mobile. Click that. No promo code necessary, just the link. Get $150 when you bet $5. If you're in New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, Iowa, or the one I mentioned earlier, Virginia. If you're in Kentucky, bet $1, get $365. It's that simple, man. Think about it. Like the $150, it takes 2 minutes to sign up, make a deposit, verify yourself. That's $150 in 2 minutes that you didn't have. $75 in a minute, right? Best offer you're going to find. Kentucky, $365 on a $1 bet. Click the link, deposit $10. That's all you got to do. If you're in Kentucky, you bet $1 of that, only 10%. If you're in those other 5 states, you bet $5 of the 10. Win or lose, doesn't matter. There you have it, $150. So even if you have a rough night betting, you can rest on the fact that, hey, I got money coming my way, and now I've got another book to find the best odds, and I'm not getting caught holding my you-know-what because I bet a game and I lost to the hook, or I bet this touchdown prop when I could have got huge odds elsewhere. Anyway, must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call Take 1-800-GAMBLER. Prop time. And as you guys know, a lot of times I'm recording these in the morning, so I'm always scouring these books for better props throughout the day, and I'll drop them on Twitter throughout the day into the night leading up to the games. If you're into that, follow me at Loughy_D on Twitter, LOUGHY_D. We could shoot the shit, talk some picks, and hopefully hit some winners over there as well. All right, so one that I want to look at is Austin Ekeler. And let me know where you guys are at on props. This is a kind of weird game in that respect. Not a ton of props that jump off the page. Dallas, as far as target share goes, is all over the map. CeeDee Lamb only 21.7% target share this year. I kind of like the Austin Ekeler receiving yards over, though. Over 32.5 receiving yards. I found that at minus 110 on FanDuel and Bet365. If you are on PointsBet, it's at 30.5 right now. A little extra juice, minus 115, but I think it's still viable. Get this. And I know this isn't apples to apples comparing Keenan Allen to Mike Williams. You know, Mike Williams, more downfield work. Keenan Allen, you know, more intermediate stuff, possession guy. But still, clear top 1 and 2 receivers. If you look at last season, there were 7 games where either Keenan Allen or Mike Williams didn't play, where one of the two was out, right? There was a couple overlap where 2 were out, but take where one of the 2 is out. There were 7 different games. Austin Ekeler in those 7 games averaged 50 receiving yards without one of the 2 of them, and 9.4 targets per game, peppered with targets. Dallas is also a team that has a good pass rush. They're going to bring a blitz. Sure, you could make the argument that Herbert gets it out early to guys like Allen or Gerald Everett, but why not look to a guy like Austin Ekeler as well? 30.5 receiving yards on PointsBet, but I like the 32.5 plenty on FanDuel and Bet365. Guys, if you think that Ekeler just has a big game, you could look towards the rushing plus receiving. I saw some 83.5s out there, some 85.5s. But I think I'm going to lean receiving here and just hope that Justin Herbert looks his way, especially against the pass rush that can get to the quarterback very quickly. Austin Ekeler over 32.5 receiving yards on Bet365 and FanDuel. Now, when we're talking about this anytime touchdown prop right now, this is why I'm saying, like, this can make or break your season. Matt Kajeski, who does amazing college football work on this Odd Shopper channel, and I were talking about it this season on a show on our DFS channel, and he was like, this can legitimately make or break your season. He's like, I already had a lot of bets this year, just sides, that I won because I found the best odds. But when you're talking touchdown props, there is no bigger discrepancy between odds across books. That's why I tell you about Bet365, or any book that I don't care, any book that you want to sign up at. I'm just giving you the ones that have the best promos right now. Jake Ferguson anytime touchdown is plus 270 on FanDuel. The next best is plus 245 if you're on WinBet, or plus 240 on Bet365. You know what it is on DraftKings? Plus 165 right now. So let's just say you were a $100 bettor and this is a unit play for you. Usually touchdowns aren't going to be, but let's just say for the sake of argument it is. You bet $100 on Jake Ferguson to score a touchdown on DraftKings. You win. You win $165. You bet the same amount of money on FanDuel, $100, you've won $270 on the exact same prop, guys. It's ridiculous. Anyway, he has 11 red zone targets this season. He leads the Cowboys by a mile. CeeDee Lamb has 5, Tony Pollard has 4, Turpin has 4, Gallup has 3. Jake Ferguson has 6 targets inside the 10, 4 inside the 5, 4 goal line targets for Jake Ferguson this year. You know, they're using him like they used Dalton Schultz in the past. He's their big-bodied red zone, inside the 10 guy, plus 270, especially where I'm getting those odds, markedly better than anywhere else. Give me Jake Ferguson if we're going anytime touchdown score. You got some good touchdown spots today? Hit me down below. I try and read all of them. Otherwise, follow me at Loughy_D on Twitter, LOUGHY_D, and we'll catch you guys back here for the next one. Peace.